Hi Year 8s. Welcome to bass lesson and doing a little bit of jamming for bass lines on our miniMoogs. So a couple of things. Firstly, today we want to make sure that we've chosen the bass as the instrument that we're focusing on. So if you look along the top here, you can see that we've got lots of different choices: keys, lead, pads, percussion, etc. That's all great. We don't want any of that. Today we just want bass. So make sure you pick bass at the top there. If you have a little scroll along through this top section, you'll notice that we have 30 different bass sounds to choose from. Heaps and heaps of choice. So you should be able to well find something that you like the sound of. I've picked chub bass just because I think it's kind of a funny name for a bass sound. And what I'm going to do is just a little bit of jamming on bass lines. Keeping in mind, you should have now had a read through the Learning Ableton pages to refresh your memory what we learned about bass lines from term 1, which was that they shouldn't have too many notes in them. The bass line isn't really a melody line, not in the context of what we're going to be creating. So your bass line can have just one note repeating. For example. It could be a 2-note bass line. For example, you can see I'm creating little rhythms with those 2 notes. We could have 3 notes. We could have 4 notes. I probably wouldn't go much more than 4 notes because otherwise your bass line is really going to start sounding a bit too much like a melody line, and you will get the opportunity to write a melody line when we write a melody line. So remembering what the point of this particular part in our band is, and do go back to those recordings and really listen to what those bass lines do. They're the concrete of the song, if you want to think about it like that. They're really holding the song down, holding it together, so they're not too complex. So using maybe some of those Ableton ideas, you can maybe see if you can play them on the Moog, but by all means change your different, what's a human bass sound like? Different bass sounds and play around with them, and you can have a go at playing different bass lines. I might try Jurassic Love. Interesting. More bounce bass. Yeah, bounce. Doesn't give me much pitch, this sound. It's more of a sound effect. Although if I hold it, that's a bit more interesting. Yeah, so you get the idea. So what I would like you to do is just create me a 30-second to 60-second screen grab, as I've been doing with this little lesson excerpt, of you jamming some bass lines. You don't have to set anything in stone just yet. This is just us getting some ideas together, really, of bass lines. Don't forget, you can move your keyboard, but if you get a little too high up here, it's no longer sounding much like a bass. We really do want that bass nice and low. So make sure your keyboard is skewed down to the left as well. Have fun and enjoy making some bass lines today.